In West Bengal, junior doctors have called off their 40-day strike after receiving government assurances regarding safety measures. Emergency services are set to resume today.
The announcement comes after the West Bengal government accepted most of their demands. Today, they plan to lift their sit-in protest outside the State Health Department's headquarters, Swasthya Bhavan. Before concluding their protest, the doctors will hold a march from Swasthya Bhavan to the CBI office in Salt Lake. Junior doctors have been on a cease work protest over the rape and murder of a trainee doctor in GNN24 Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata.
The demonstrating doctors have asserted that they will wait for a week for the implementation of all the promises made by the West Bengal government, and if unfulfilled, they will resume the strike. The doctors have also clarified that they will not return to the outpatient department, which is the OPD, for now.
These developments come days after doctors met with West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee following two failed attempts at talks. Junior doctors have been protesting for more than a month in a movement that has spread across India. The Supreme Court is hearing a suo motu case on the incident, while the Central Bureau of Investigation, the CBI, is probing a case of financial irregularities at GNN24 Medical College and Hospital.
Scattered rainfall is predicted across central India, particularly in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, with heavy rains expected in the coming days. As inflationary pressures continue, the Reserve Bank of India has kept interest rates steady, focusing on stabilizing the economy amidst global financial challenges.
The Federal Reserve has done what it assesses the good for the US economy, the largest economy in the world. And I see it as a positive for the global economy, including for the Indian economy. Nikunj, as far as your question about flows are concerned, it is a 50 basis points cut from a high level, from the high level. So I don't see that making any significant impact on the flows. You have to see how the things develop going forward. Okay? See, this is not a one-to-one correspondence which happens, but we have to see it here that from where the levels are, where the levels were 5% plus, it has been brought down by 50 basis points. So it's not that significant things happen, but we have to see that how the interest rates in other economies and how the markets will be.
So the recessionary pressure.
Rescue operations have resumed in Karnataka, where efforts are underway to locate 3 individuals who went missing after a landslide, including a local from Kerala. A US citizen of Malayali origin tragically passed away after collapsing at the duty-free shop in Kochi airport, causing shock among fellow travelers. Amid increasing tensions with Hezbollah, Israel has warned the US of a potential military operation in Lebanon. The situation remains volatile as regional stability is at stake.
Israeli jets and artillery have targeted multiple sites in southern Lebanon overnight. The strikes hit areas including Shishinhe, Taibe, Blida, Mes el Jabal, Etraroon and Farkela, according to Israel's military. A Hezbollah weapons storage facility in Khiam was also struck. These attacks come amid growing tensions after a mass strike on Hezbollah communications devices earlier this week. Israeli media reports indicate some Israeli civilians were injured by anti-tank missile fire from Lebanon. However, there has been no official confirmation of these casualties. The strikes are part of a broader escalation at the Israel-Lebanon border, where Israeli forces have been exchanging fire with Hezbollah for months. On Wednesday, Hezbollah launched around 20 projectiles into Israel, most of which were intercepted by air defense systems. No injuries were also reported. 10 missiles were also fired at Mount Hermon in Israeli-occupied Golan Heights, an area housing key Israeli surveillance and defense systems. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant stated that the conflict initially centered on Gaza is now shifting to the northern border with Lebanon. Gallant confirmed that additional military units, including the elite 98th Division, are being deployed to the border. Tens of thousands of civilians have been evacuated from both sides of the border. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu assured that evacuated Israelis would be returned home once security is restored.
With the US presidential election nearing, polls show a razor-thin margin between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump in a highly competitive race.
Tonight, Vice President Harris once again in the critical swing state of Michigan, this time getting a celebrity boost from Oprah Winfrey at a live-streamed event.
What we are hoping is going to be one great big giant voter rally.
Just weeks after the TV icon's high-wattage endorsement at the Democratic National Convention.
Let's all choose Kamala Harris!
And with in-person early voting beginning in several states tomorrow, a new poll showing just how tight this race is. Harris and former President Trump tied at 47% nationally. And in the key state of Pennsylvania, Harris has a slim lead within the margin of error. Meanwhile, the former president overnight looking to boost Republican congressional candidates, making a pitch in deep blue New York.
With terrorists and criminals pouring in, and with inflation eating your hearts out, vote for Donald Trump. What the hell do you have to lose?
While Harris has attacked Trump on health care.
They intend to end the Affordable Care Act, all based on concepts of a plan. Concepts!
The former president is pledging to lift the $10,000 cap on state and local tax deductions, known as SALT. Even though the controversial cap was part of his signature tax law in 2017, a move critics said targeted Democratic-leaning states with high property taxes. Now,
I will cut taxes for families, small businesses, and workers, including restoring the SALT deduction.
The disgraced Hollywood producer, Harvey Weinstein, has pleaded not guilty to new sexual assault charges while awaiting retrial for earlier allegations in the Hush Me Too case.
The charges relate to several previously unheard allegations of sexual assault and/or rape that allegedly took place in New York City. The indictment was announced last week, but the 72-year-old missed his last court date after being rushed to the hospital for emergency heart.
Manhattan, specifically Tribeca hotels, and also at a residential building. Harvey Weinstein is expected to be here in court today in person at 2:30 Eastern Time. He was not here last week, therefore he could not be arraigned. He was a sex assault. They said that the trial judge unfairly allowed other women to testify who were not a part of the case. The trial judge allowed them as Molyneux witnesses to show prior bad acts. Now, prosecutors say they want to file a motion to consolidate the new indictment with the retrial. His attorneys say they would prefer to keep them separate. They're aware of what is going to be retried in November, but they say they simply do not have all of the details when it comes to this new indictment. They say they ethically could not be prepared in time for this November 12th retrial should the charges be combined. They say they still have to do their own investigations and do their own work.
SpaceX's Elon Musk has slammed the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, for fining SpaceX over minor issues, while not taking action against Boeing for more serious safety risks.
For overreach, this comes after the FAA earlier today put out a press release saying they're proposing more than $633,000 civil penalty against SpaceX. This is related to some of the communications and licensing plans during some Cape Canaveral launches, it looks like. Again, I just note, Elon Musk threatens lawsuits and so forth all the time. This doesn't mean there is a lawsuit. It doesn't mean there's going to be a lawsuit, but this is definitely him pushing against, or back against, rather.
The ongoing strikes in Hollywood by writers and actors show no signs of resolution as negotiations over fair compensation and AI use in the industry hit a roadblock.
No contract, no actors!
For Hollywood actors like Evan Shafran, this is real life.
I'm in the new Barbie movie, for instance. I'm in the trailer with Margot Robbie fingerprinting her. I only made a couple $100 that day. I don't make any royalties. I don't make anything off the streaming.
And the strike is having a ripple effect. In New York, film and TV production employs 185,000 people. In Georgia, the industry brings in nearly $4.5 billion in direct spending. And in California, it provides 600,000 jobs and $70 billion in wages. Production has now halted on several film projects, including sequels to franchises like Deadpool, Venom, and Gladiator. Actors want residuals for streaming and accuse the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers of being greedy.
So the jig is up, AMPTP. We stand tall. You have to wake up and smell the coffin.
Variety's Cynthia Littleton says there is a new reality.
With the changes driven by technology, the profit potential for Hollywood is incredibly challenged right now.
LA is a union town.
Some CBS News staff are SAG-AFTRA members, but they work under a different contract than the actors and are not affected by the strike. Stars like young Sheldon Zoe Perry support those here who are barely scraping by.
We are asking for just what is fair, for people to just survive in this industry.